Alright guys, today we're going to take the rock and we're going to put Odell Beckham Jr.'s hair on the rock. Alright, so first step, I'm not going to make a new canvas in Photoshop. I'm just going to take this picture of the rock because I'm editing this picture and slide it over Photoshop so that Photoshop opens it up. And once I got it open like this, I don't really need to do anything with the rock. So I'm going to minimize Photoshop with the yellow button, get it out of the way, and bring Odell Beckham Jr. and do the same exact thing. Drop him into Photoshop. And just dropping him in like that will open it up in two separate tabs. That way I have both of these open kind of next to each other. What I need to do is cut out this guy's hair. So I'm going to zoom in. I only need the hair. And I'm going to use the magnetic lasso tool. If you don't see your magnetic lasso tool, you might see the lasso tool. If you have this little triangle, you can right click and then you can find the magnetic lasso tool. If you can't do that, if you can't find the triangle, go to Window, Workspace, and make sure you're in the Photography workspace. If it's something else, so for example, if it's in Graphic and Web, I can't right-click it and get anything else. So I have to go into Window, Workspace, and Photography, and now I got the magnetic lasso tool. So once I do that, it should kind of do it. It should assist me at least. If I click here, I'm going to start right at the top of the ear and just go around the hair. One important thing to note. I've already feathered this, and feathering it's going to make it a little bit soft at the edges, so it's doesn't look like a cut piece of paper. If it looks like a cut piece of paper, it's kind of too obvious that you just cut it out from somewhere else. If it's soft around the edges, and if I'm not getting every single little strand of hair, it's not really a huge deal, as long as I'm getting the basic shape of the hair. And I'm clicking every now and then just to kind of set down the line. It's almost like hitting it with a nail, right? Like stapling it down, just to make sure it goes exactly where I want it to go. And that should go pretty easy. I'm just getting the shape of the hair. Here I'm going to kind of get that little peak, come back up around the forehead. It's going to get a little weird right here where you got this fade, but I'm going to click right here in the corner where the hair is and kind of come down, click here it looks like, and I'm going to get side of his head, a little bit of his sideburn, and then back to the top of the ear. So now I have that dancing ants, the dotted lines. First thing I always do is right click and layer via copy. So that's going to copy that selection. So I have just his hair in its own layer right here. So see, I have two layers. Now I can grab my move tool, and this is important. I need to actually move it with the move tool, and I can move it around. And I'm going to take it, click, hold, hover, don't let go, drop it, let go here. And you're seeing it's way small. So I need to make it more or less the right size. And it's okay if I make it a little bit bigger, because the next step is going to make it fit as perfectly as possible. Alright, so I'm kind of going around his head. Remember, this was the top of Odell Beckham's ear, so I can kind of put it there. I know more or less it's going to be right. See how that doesn't really fit though? See how, watch out, that's teeth. See how this part of the hair is just hovering away from the head? That's what I'm going to have to fix. Alright, so once I got it more or less in the right spot, I'm going to hit enter, and then I need to warp this. So I'm going to hit Command T, nothing's going to happen. But now when I right click, I have all these options. Alright, if I don't hit Command T and I right click, I have no options. So I have to hit Command T, right click, and I want to warp it. So now this lets me kind of move it like if it was liquidy, and I can kind of match up. I can grab it from the corners and just say I want this to match up right here, maybe stretch it down a little bit, pull it in a tiny bit, and just try to match it up as perfectly as possible. It's going to be a little bit weird because I'm not going to get the ear right, probably. So the last step I'm going to do to make it perfect is I'm going to cut out the rock's ear, and I'm going to make a new layer of just the ear above the hair, because whatever's on top is going to be in front. So I'm going to make this invisible with the little I button for now, and then I need to click on the layer that has the rock on it, because I want to cut out his ear, not like in a weird violent way, but I'm going to use the magnetic lasso tool and just get the ear, because that's what I want to be in front of the hair. I don't even need the whole ear, I just need the top part. Select it, right click, layer via copy, make sure I'm copying it from this layer, and now I have a layer that's just his ear. So if I grab this layer and move it above, so I see that blue line and let go, now the ear is in front of the hair. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I'm noticing there's some weird stuff, not in his teeth. Right here there's like a little highlight in the hair, So I'm going to try to erase that highlight. So I'm going to go over to my eraser on the left side. I'm going to right click, make sure it's a soft round eraser, and make it pretty big, 100 pixels, and kind of slowly erase that weird highlight that's there. That was too much. Undo, undo. And that's, to me, a pretty solid hair swap.